Runner from first takes off. Garbowski. Garbowski throws out. Garbowski. Little brother tries to run on the big brother. Big bro says, I got you, kid. Short hop throw. Good scoop down there at second base. And Kyle is cut down, attempting to steal to end the top of the first. Nice pick over there by Daniels. The throw on time, the tag on time. UConn coming up in the bottom of the first. The 3-1 pitch. Pillar turns on it. A high drive to right. Way back, and we are tied as he bangs it off the scoreboard. Sam Biller with his 4th home run of the year, and quite literally puts a big run on the board for the Hook C. Williams just holds the ball. Pitch clock down to 3. And that's driven out towards right center field, towards the gap, and out of the reach of the diving Gilio. Minnick scores, and Padilla's rounding third. He's heading home, and it's a 2-run double for Grant MacArthur. Welcome to Elliott Ballpark for the home opener for UConn baseball as the Huskies welcome the LIU Sharks. Good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Chris Jones, I'm Randy Brochu. Thrilled to be with you for the home opener for the Hook C. Back in Connecticut after 12 on the road and winners of 3 of their last 4 against ranked Vanderbilt and most recently Jonesy, 2 out of 3 against Miami. A chance to get back home and play on their home field for the first time in 2025.
Yeah, it's great to be back. It's beautiful weather here in Storrs and a place UConn has played so well in the first 4 years of this ballpark. 66-14 here at Elliott, and the guys are just ready to go. Obviously practicing out here all fall and in the preseason, so it's finally time to play a regular season game here at Elliott.
And they have some guys that are swinging the bat coming out of the gate, led by Grant MacArthur. He's been a great addition to this roster.
Yeah, he's been great, a junior college transfer, and he's hit safely at every game this year. He's coming off a 2-homer performance on Sunday, so he's just been a steady presence, and he's been smack dab in the middle of that order.
Ryan Daniels, the Connecticut kid from Meriden, back from an injury last year. He had a great start to his career, and he's having a terrific beginning to the 2025 season.
Yeah, he was off to a good start last year, but obviously the hip was bothering him, had to get surgery after the Northeastern game, but he's back, he's healthy, and he's been producing. He's had a good knowledge of the strike zone his entire career, but he's finding ways to get on base with the hits. He's near the top of the team in hits collected as well as walks.
The Huskies are getting a power surge from Tyler Minnick. We saw it last year. He's got popped to all fields, and he has 5 home runs already.
Yeah, 3 postseason homers last year to finish out the 2024 campaign. Ty's been great, 5 home runs, and gosh, he's hit so well with runners on base. I think he's north of 700 in terms of when runners are on in front of him.
It is a picture-perfect day in Storrs, Connecticut. Spring is here, and so are the Huskies. The Hook C is back at home for the home opener against LIU. First pitch and starting lineups are next. JT Rabb was very efficient in the first inning. 2 punch-outs, both on 3 pitches, part of a 1-2-3 inning. He waited around a little bit in the dugout on a cool day as Georgetown scores the first run in the top of the second. A couple of walks issued in this game by the UConn starter, Oliver Pudvar. Schaff led it off with an infield single. Eventually, with 1 out, a walk to Castor, push Schaff in a scoring position. Jaden Sheffield comes through with an RBI single to make it 1-0 Georgetown. Tyler Minnick leads it off against Rabb with 9 home runs. Ball 1. Minnick also hitting .321 and with a team best 33 RBI. After a 9-pitch inning for Rabb, he deals on 1-0, and Minnick crushes it. Way back in the left, and on one swing, he ties the game with his 10th home run of the year. A screaming line drive into the Matt Barnes bullpen. And we are tied at 1.
Able to get a pitch right out over the plate. Did not miss it. And ties it up. Double digits in the home run column for the first time in his career for the sophomore. 1-1 ball game here in the second.
He has popped to all fields, but when he gets a pitch middle in, he puts a beautiful power pull swing on a fastball like that and turns it around.
It was the Georgetown series last year. He homered out to right field that really got him going. He hadn't shown off the power much until that series and started to get consistent playing time after that weekend.
Rabb spikes a first pitch to Aiden Doherty, ball one.
But it's so early, Randy, but you just had a feeling UConn needed to respond after going down early 1-0. So you can already hear the dugout a little bit more lively. Just the way this season has gone, it's like, oh, here we go again, having to come back.
It engages you early. And they didn't like that call that went off the catcher's mitt, but called a strike to Doherty on the corner. Curveball, 1-2.
Doherty had a nice day on Wednesday. Couple hits, couple runs batted in.
That pitch really more of a slider for Rabb. He throws a fastball, a change, and a slider. The 1-2. Driven out to right field. This one playable for Thomas, shy of the track, and there's one down in the UConn second. Doherty puts a good swing on it, but Thomas goes back a few and hauls it in.
The interesting thing for UConn, just kind of looking over the numbers going into this series, the team coming into today has 41 doubles. That's 272nd out of 307 teams in Division I. Usually UConn's a team that's up there in the top 50, racking up doubles, but their doubles total a lot lower. Extra base hits are lower than in previous years. Their hits have mostly been singles this season, though Minnick just hit the 32nd home run for UConn this year.
And MacArthur at 290 has 8 extra base hits, 5 doubles and 3 homers. 1-1 on Grant MacArthur, who did not start on Wednesday but did pinch hit. Bo Root got the start at DH. Fouled away by MacArthur. Challenge fastball up and in, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 coming to MacArthur. He strikes out. Third punch out for JT Rabb, who has bounced back nicely after giving up the leadoff home run to Minnick. And they're quickly 2 down.
Yeah, the bat's just a little bit slower than it was the first 4 or 5 weeks of the year. Just all those consistent starts, playing every day at first base. Hopefully can get rejuvenated here back at home.
Strike one in there to Sam Biller, the left fielder, hitting with 2 down and nobody on. 240, 3 home runs and 17 RBIs so far for Biller. A bad miss. That one got away from Rabb. 1-1. Rabb early on with those challenge fastballs, showing why you could see and understand why he'd be the Friday starter. Then he backs it up with a breaking ball that fools Biller. Good sequence of pitching so far from Rabb. Just fell behind Minnick, ball one, and then had to throw a fastball in there. Minnick jumped on it. Other than that, Rabb's been pretty impressive early. Fouled away by Biller.
It allows Edwin Thompson to put a guy that could be a Friday starter for a lot of other teams, Andrew Williams, as their Sunday guy. He's had excellent numbers throughout his Hoyas career.
Biller gets buzzed. High and tight, 2-2. Well, a high and tight fastball. He's shown good command of the slider. He tried to backdoor him after the up and in fastball. Bounce to the right side by Biller, deep into the hole. Jeremy Sheffield ranging And at first base, Bauer keeps contact with the base. Tough play for Sheffield, but he did it well with some help from Bauer over at first. UConn ties the game on the Tyler Minnick home run. And we are tied at 1 through 2. The Huskies with their sights set on the Big East, hosting a Big East play, a Big East series for the first time this year. Tied at 1 with Georgetown. Tyler Minnick with a game-tying solo shot leading off the second. So Oliver Pudvar, already 41 pitches in, goes to work to begin the third against the top of the order. He drops a curveball in on Jeremy Sheffield. Strike one. Sheffield walked to lead off the ball game, and he pops this one up into foul territory. Minnick has the room, and he has to come back for it and make the catch. One down.
Nice job there for Ty. A little bit different real estate on the first base side foul ground than his usual third base side. Able to stick with it, keep those feet moving.
Not only that, but a pop-up plays differently off a right-handed bat. It's going to kind of tail back towards the infield. Minnick's looked pretty good over on the other corner.
And he actually played that really well in terms of a normal Elliott Ballpark day where the wind's blowing towards right. And today it's just really not doing much.
Jackson Thomas very quickly ahead in the count, 2-0.
So he went kind of straight over to the wall and then worked himself back. Able to make that grab to get the leadoff man for the first time today.
Another ball on another close pitch.
Yeah, you can see a wry smile from Pudvar. He is all around the plate.
Called a strike, and that one looked maybe a little bit more off the plate than the previous pitch. Jackson Thomas thought it was, and he has to go pick up the bat he just tossed, thinking he was going to take his base. Not yet, at least. 3-1. Pudvar hits the corner. He does such a good job of delivering that pitch. As soon as the hitter is ready, Pudvar's in the windup. Does not allow for much comfort in the batter's box. Fouled away.
And it's two pitchers today that they're not lighting up the gun in terms of velocity, but their fastballs are getting swings and misses here in the early going. A little deception, a little movement. Able to keep it off the barrel of the bat.
Thomas trying to slow Pudvar down, and he misses again, just barely. Pudvar looks to the dugout. He's shaking his head as if he's telling Josh McDonald, I have no idea where I'm missing. Those look good.
Yeah, it's a tough zone today. Especially for a guy that does not usually walk guys. He's got good control. Frustrating.
What do you think here? You know, it was a setup for outside,
Yep.
and that might have cost him.
If he was set up outside and hit a spot outside, it's probably a strike. But yep, with Garbowski having to reach across, presents that pitch, making it look worse than it actually is.
Thomas dives back to first. 6 for 7 stealing bases this year. Georgetown is 7th in all of college baseball with their 93 stolen bases. That's right down the middle to Carpellotti. 1-1. They've already walked 3 times in this game. They are a patient team, leading the Big East in base on balls. 161 coming into the doubleheader. Fouled off by Carpellotti, 1-2. A light crowd here for a Friday afternoon at noon. And yet, Jonesy, the Bears Barbecue food truck
Big
is
time.
here. I was delighted to see that. 2-2. Usually I go out in the 5th inning, but I'm just going to wait for the in-between.
Game 2.
About 45 minutes or so in between game 1 and game 2 usually of a doubleheader. Inside again. Takes me about 5 minutes to put down a,
Yeah.
a plate.
It
for
takes you
Bears.
longer to decide, hey, I want to go out there, stand in the little line, grab it, than it does to devour it.
3-2, runners going. And it's grounded in the hole for a base hit by Carpellotti. Thomas goes first to third, and the Hoyas have runners on the corners. The throw in from Doherty to Daniels, the head coach and third base coach. Edwin Thompson, a bit of a late hold with the runner on the move. Thomas rounded the bag, and he stops there with Connor Price coming up, and now Josh McDonald is out for a word with his battery and infield.
Yeah, and I think this one is just, hey, don't, we're fighting the strike zone right now. It might be a situation where Josh is waiting for that home plate umpire to break up the meeting and maybe say a few things. As again, it's not the base hits that are killing Pudvar today. It's the walks that have allowed those guys to get on, and now you have trouble with first and third, one out. If it's 2 outs and Carpellotti rips a single through right side, hey, that's no big deal. But since you had the walk prior to Carpellotti, now it's some real trouble here in the third.
Carpellotti's the catcher, but he's 4 for 4 stealing bases this year. First and third, Price bunts and pops it up. Pudvar took his eye off the ball as he thought about getting it on the bounce and throwing home, and the ball never is secured. Everybody is safe. A safety squeeze by Connor Price. He popped it up, and you could see the thought process in real time for Pudvar. See him look at home before he sees the ball in the glove. And they get nobody. 2-1 Georgetown.
Thought it was going to hang up enough for Puds to have a shot at it, but then once it dropped, I don't think he was going to have a play at the plate. But instead of getting a second out, now Georgetown looking for a bigger inning.
An error charged on the play, but I would imagine that Carpellotti also, or rather Price also gets a sacrifice and an RBI.
Absolutely.
And he reaches on the error because he did get that safety squeeze down. 2-1 the Hoyas. Blake Schaff singled his last time. Down in the count 0-1. That's on the outside corner. Pudvar gets ahead 0-2 on a slider. No balls, 2 strikes. Carpellotti at second, Price at first. 2-1 the Hoyas lead. That just missed.
Love to see that one again.
Well, asking you shall receive, Jonesy. That one might have been off the plate.
I think a low, too. That one, I'm not sure where that missed.
It had to be low because it was right down the middle. The 1-2, this is that pitch.
Oh, man.
Is it low? I mean, it's got all plate.
Usually you get those calls at home.
The 2-2 inside.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Michael Sadowski is a guy that will let Joshua McDonald hurt his feelings. He lets what the dugout says kind of affect his mood and how he calls a game, which is unfortunate. But he has not given any pitches to Pudvar.
Your words are offensive to me, Coach. 3-2 again. Hit hard through the hole and a base hit for Blake Schaff. Carpellotti is held as Doherty comes up with a strong one-hop throw a little bit up the third baseline. Bags full for the Hoyas.
Good piece of hitting. When you get a second opportunity for Schaff, you make the most of it. Could have been punched out during the at-bat, but able to collect a single. Now the bases are loaded here for the Hoyas.
Ashton Gillio struck out looking his first time up. Looking to add to a 2-1 lead for Georgetown. He goes right after a fastball and fouls it straight back.
And all you can ask here, if the strike zone is going to be this in the top half, it's got to be that in the bottom half as well, which I think it has been so far.
The 0-1, fouled away on a slider. Pudvar gets ahead 0-2. He'd love a ground ball at either Rispoli or Daniels. He used a 5-3 double play to get out of last inning. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 0-2. A waste pitch up high. A ball and 2 strikes on Gilio. And he strikes him out. He takes something off the breaking ball, and Gilio is out in front. He strikes out for the second time. Unable to get the bat on the ball with the bases loaded and 1 out. Now it's up to Kavi Castor to make it a big inning for Georgetown. Already 1 in, 2 outs, 3 on. The Hoyas leading 2-1. Castor pops it up. It's in play. Foul ground for Padilla. And Pudvar limits the Hoyas to 1. Stranding the bases loaded. He gets out of a bases full, 1 out jam. Georgetown has the lead though, 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd.